Pacific Drive is one of the most unique concepts I've encountered in a while. It's a run-based, first-person, driving survival game that immerses you in a world shrouded in mystery. Now the premise here, it is straightforward. We find ourselves in a locale where some kind of facility once operated. Now this place, it was largely unknown, yet a wall was constructed isolating it from the outside world, and its boundaries appeared to be ever expanding. The next piece of information we have then is that it was left deserted for reasons unknown. Fast forward to us then driving pretty peacefully along the border when an unforeseen event catapults us within these walls. Our mission now is to escape and uncover more. The narrative is, in my opinion, fascinating, but I'm going to stop here to avoid any spoilers. What I will say though is there's a main route to pursue, yet the game is rich with secrets to uncover for those willing to delve a little bit deeper. Now if you do enjoy this video today, then subscribe, it helps out the channel a huge amount. So yeah, this isn't a world anchored in realism, it's a realm of science fiction where the unknown forces, mysterious happenings and anomalies form the core of the experience. Each run starts from the same home base, taking you down familiar roads, yet the world around you, it shifts and changes constantly. Now as you do progress, these alterations become more pronounced and the environment, it grows increasingly dangerous. Think lightning storms, enigmatic technology, terrain that erupts beneath your vehicle, and especially menacing mannequins known as tourists that detonate upon contact, and these are just a few of the things you will encounter. It gets wild and constantly surprises, and because of this, unsurprisingly, the developers asked us to only show the opening half of the experience. The crucial thing though to keep in mind with Pacific Drive is that your car is your lifeline. Now indeed your character has a health meter, but progression and upgrades aren't about your personal skills, rather they focus on the enhancements and modifications you make to your car. It definitely as well, the car begins in a relatively rough state, but early on I upgraded all the panels to steel, added reinforced bumpers, expanded storage with a side mounted rack, and enhanced my tyre type's headlights, and even installed a special device that deflects attacking forces. Now in the early stages, these attacks often come from an object known as rabbits. Think of them as spiky tumbleweed that flies around the world, sticking to and impairing your car's functionality. Now when you are on foot as well, it's all going to be about exploration and finding resources. There is no combat packed into the experience. Undoubtedly the pinnacle of the experience, so it is that exploration for resources and then returning to base to craft that next item or upgrade. Now if you do fail a run, the game's mechanics result in the loss of most of your collected resources, but akin to many survival games, it's infused with options that let you tailor the difficulty level to your preference. The car's handling as well also impressed. It mirrors the modifications you do make, so tire changes can make navigating certain terrains easier, engine swaps boost your speed, and there's a touch of realism that sets it apart from other driving experiences, and it's not really in the handling but in the need to turn the car on and off or shift it from park to drive. This is all because fuel consumption, it plays a crucial role. So basically as you advance, think these journeys are going to get longer, making running out of fuel a very real concern. By now then you might be questioning why the driving aspect is so central, and part of it revolves around gathering resources, while the other part propels the narrative forward. You maintain radio contact with a few locals inside these walls, and they are basically helping you to devise an escape plan that involves scouting specific locations and searching for the necessary items. I found myself using most of these missions for the dual purpose of collecting resources as well as advancing that storyline. However, things become truly intriguing when your car is equipped with a mechanical device that enables teleportation back to the home base garage. Now to activate this feature, it requires feeding it glowing orbs which are placed around the world to stabilize the environment. They basically repel aggressive anomalies. Now when you do take these orbs out of place, that's when chaos ensues, attracting everything in your direction. Once you do collect enough, however, a handy meter will indicate this, and you're able to open a portal connection, turning the situation now into a race against time. It's almost akin to a battle royale where a deadly storm is closing in and you now must reach the exit. This aspect though can be incredibly intense. It's not just finding resources then driving home. It's not even about just pushing the pedal to the metal either, but it's about really assessing the surrounding terrain and making sure it is going to be a viable option. You know, questions like, can you handle the hill ahead? Is it too dark to go off-road? Or can we navigate through the forest? All questions like this become crucial. Some moments evoke a sensation akin to what I've experienced with games like Mud Runner, where managing just to advance a few feet feels like a significant accomplishment. Alongside the driving and the on-foot exploration, then the garage is where all of your efforts come to fruition. Here we're going to build items, stockpile resources, and delve into the new features for our car and the location via what I'd describe as an incredibly detailed skill tree. So for instance, early on I installed a deconstruction device at my base and also a tool that repairs car parts while I am out on the road. The interfaces admittedly can be somewhat convoluted at first, making it challenging to grasp their purpose. However, with a bit of patience, you'll navigate through it successfully and soon you'll be zipping around with ease. There's even a strange addition, a friendly anomaly, a friendly trash can that can dispense free items, particularly handy after a rough run where your car is in ruins. It allows you to piece it back together. It may seem like a strange touch, but it plays a crucial role, acting almost like a Marvel-esque plot device with a flimsy justification, but basically it keeps you moving forwards. Alongside this then you can find a jukebox to blast some tunes while you work, a device which helps you diagnose problems. So for example, every time I shut my car boot, the car horn went off. This helped me solve the problem, and then we can plot our next moves on a world map. Problems then, and yeah, it's definitely got some rough edges. For instance, the car sometimes doesn't realistically interact with the environment, especially when anomalies are concerned. Think one that catapults you into the air. You don't notice or feel the weight of the car. It kind of moves in one smooth motion when you would think it would be moving at different speeds. I also then had a glitch where the friendly trash can malfunctioned and it ejected about 50 car doors, though fortunately, it was a quick fix, just have a quick clean around. Additionally then, the controls can initially seem a bit unintuitive. For example, tapping R1 both opens and allows you to enter the car. If you hold R1, it opens the door, but you don't take your seat. These nuances aren't clearly explained, leading to a trial and error learning process. The big one, however, while the locations do change, there were times I felt a hint of frustration, particularly when the game would send me all the way back to the garage, only for my next objective to be in that same direction that I just came from. I wished for a more seamless progression rather than being stopped in my tracks. It almost feels a little like it's trying to extend that runtime. All this said, Pacific Drive, I still had a great time. The story is roughly in the region of 12 to 15 hours. I did explore during my gameplay. I was targeting specific upgrades. But yeah, they promise plenty more to explore, adding a further 30 hours to the experience. Visually, I really like what they've delivered. The world is both interesting and relatively detailed. Now keep in mind, this is an indie release, but the small open locations they've managed to create here, they are quite unique, particularly true for the latter half of the experience that I can't show today. The enemy variety is also commendable, ranging from spinning blades that emerge from the ground to the especially menacing tourists. Those are the creepy exploding mannequins, and again, that is just the very beginning. I must also then highlight the lighting effects. They boldly plunge you into darkness, and in some areas I couldn't see a thing. That, however, was my oversight for not repairing my headlights or not having a powerful enough setup, leading me basically to bite off more than I could chew. The car itself as well looks fantastic with options for cosmetic changes, and the weather effects are especially impressive. My only real criticisms are some noticeable pop-in menus that can be a little too complex, resulting in a fair amount of smaller text, and then the absence of a visible body while driving. I personally would have preferred to have seen hands on the wheel. Audio-wise, it's great stuff. The voice acting is top-notch with smart sound effects that alert you when something bad is about to happen. And similar to the visuals, when an anomaly occurs, the ambience can instantly shift from peaceful to manic, and it is impressive. The real standout though is the soundtrack. You can enjoy it through the jukebox in the garage or the car radio, and it features a nice selection of licensed tracks. While nothing is particularly modern in there, you're gonna recognize the odd song here and there, and it definitely enhances the setting. Overall, Pacific Drive has its rough edges, but the unique concept really caught my attention, and I really enjoyed the journey that narrative provided. The premise of continually upgrading and experimenting on your car to delve deeper in this location just really works well. Also, it's hard to find another survival game quite like it. Yes, it may not be the most challenging either, but those unique ideas will keep you coming back. For fans of the genre or those who appreciate a sci-fi story with a touch of mystery, Pacific Drive is definitely worth exploring, and today it gets a great 8 out of 10 from me. Now this review, it was based on the PlayStation 5 version of the game, but it is also available on PC. So will you be checking it out? Let us know in the comments with that. Hit subscribe, join us here for reviews, deals, news and lists weekly, and I'll see you all on the next video. Thanks everyone.